right, good morning. We are continuing with our graphing on the coordinate plane. Today we are working on CO28, finding the slope of a line on that coordinate plane. So a slope is the non-vertical line, is the ratio of the rise, the vertical change, to the run, which is the horizontal change between any 2 points on the line. Those are kind of some confusing words thrown in there. We're going to see how we work with that rise and the run. So we're going to work with those words so we know what they mean. You can use ratios to describe the slope of a line. A ratio can be shown as a fraction. So our slope, we're going to put as a fraction, that rise over the run. So the rise, well, first, let's do this. So we're going to practice doing this. So let's look at step one. It says draw an x-axis and a y-axis on the graph paper. So I gave you some graph here, some graph paper. So I'm going to draw my x goes across horizontally. The y goes up and down. It is vertical. So if I'm going to number my lines going to the right, are they going to be positive or negative? When I'm going to the right, because we know in the middle, that's the origin, that's a 0.
They're going to be positive.
Positive going to the right. So this would be a positive 1, a positive 2, a positive 3. Oof. And this pen is not getting small enough to actually write nice on there. So going to the left of that 0, that's where we have our negatives. -1, -2, -3. So when we're going up our y-axis, because we know this is the x, the y is the vertical, up and down. When we're going up, is it going to be positive or negative? When we go up, it is positive. So when we go down from the origin, from that 0, is it going to be positive or negative? Negative. Now, I always have friends who forget, I'm going to draw this a little bit bigger so we can see. When we have a 0 in the middle, we start our numbering from the 0. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when we go to the left, it's -1 after the 0, -2, -3. For some reason, I always have friends who start with that 1 way over on this side and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going towards the 0. So be careful when you're numbering. You start at the 0 and work your way out. Same thing for our y. Here we go. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then doing our negatives, you start at the 0. -1, -2, -3, -4. So always starting at the origin, at the 0, 0, and work your way out. So now start at the origin. Remember I said that origin is that middle. Move 3 units up. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, and 2 units to the right. So 1, 2. Plot this point and label it A. So now we're going to start at that A, and we're going to move up 6 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 4 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to label this B. Now it says draw a line through A, B, and the origin. So we're going to draw a straight line. And because it's a line, we put the little arrow on the ends. It doesn't stop. It can go on and on and on and on forever. To find the ratio of the rise to the run for each of the movements described in steps 2 and 3. So remember, our rise is going up. So your rise is how far up we went. So if we go from A to B, how many up did we go? How many times up did we go from A to B? How many lines up did we go?
6.
6. So we went up that 6. That's our rise. Rise is going up. So that's why we have a 6 here. The run is how far over. So we went over our 4. So our rise over run is 6 over 4. We can simplify that. Divide it down. What can we divide out of a 6 and a 4? Yeah, 2. So we would get 3 over 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So our rise over run. If we were to go from our origin to the A, origin is 0, 0. Our rise would be 1, 2, 3. The run would be 1, 2. So 3 over 2. It's the same slope because that is a straight line. So we can pick any 2 points on that line and our slope will be the same. It's the same rise over run. You go up and over the same amount between any of those points. Does that make sense? So it's always, this line has a slope of 3 over 2. 3/2. That is our slope. So let's find the slope of a line by finding the ratio of the rise to the run between any 2 points on the line. So let's look at our example here. A line that rises from the left to the right as you're reading it across. We read from left to right and it's going up. Going up is going to be a positive slope. So let's see what the slope is. Who can tell me what the rise from this point to this point is? What is our rise? How many up do we go? If I'm at the Y right here where it crosses the Y, and I look at this point right here, what is my rise, Peyton?
3.
Rise is how many up am I going?
2.
So remember, we're gonna make it like that. We go up and then over. So if I'm right here, I'm gonna go up 1 line. So my rise would be a 1, and then I go over 1, 2. So my run is the 2. Rise is how many lines up am I counting on my graph paper? The run is how many lines over. So let's try another one. So let's pick this point to this point. So if I'm starting here, how many up am I going to go? Because I'm going to go up and then straight over. Yeah, I go up 1, 2 lines. What is my run? How many over am I going to go? 4. I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4. If I simplified that, is it the same slope? Yeah, I could divide a 2 out. So 2/4 divided by 2 is 1/2. So it's the same slope. I can pick any 2 points on this line and I will get the same slope. So remember, you have to count how many up, how many over. So now it says if we're reading from left to right and our line is going down, it's a negative slope. So if you're going to count going down, just like on that y-axis, if we go down, it's negative. Okay, going down would be the negative. So let's look over here. Let's start at our origin, which is at 0. And we've got that point right. We've got this point here and the origin. What is our rise? What is the difference? How many down am I going to go? How many lines down? So count from this dot, this point, how many down till I'm equal with the next point?
5.
Real? Well, we would go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're right, we went down, so it's a -4 because we were going down. Now what's our run? How many over are we gonna go? How many over do we have to go to get to our next point on the line? Anthony?
4.
So if I'm right here, am I counting 4 lines?
Oh. Yeah. 2.
So let me make it a little bit bigger. Let's go over here. We were right here. And we're going over 1, 2.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, you go to the 0.
I thought you meant like how much, like, to get to.
Because this line goes right through that origin, it goes right through that 0, 0. So we would go over 2 lines to get to that point on the line. So we would put a 2 down here. So it's -4 over 2. Can we simplify it? What would that be simplified? What can we divide out? Will? What can we divide out of a 4 and a 2? We can divide it by both by the 2 then, numerator and denominator. So -4 divided by 2 is -2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. We don't have to put a 1 under the number. Our slope is -2. So your slope can be a whole number or that fraction. If it's the whole number, we know that our run is a 1. So if you ever see a whole number for your slope, you know you're just going over one place. So no matter which direction our line is going, if it's going up, it's going to be positive. If it's going down, it's going to be negative. Our run is just how many over, because we always go from left to right to find that run. How many lines over do I need to count? So I see a lot of people that look a little confused about this. Let me, see, I can't make this graph any clearer on here. Well, let's try this. If we have on that graph paper, can you see the lines or not really? Yeah? So I'm talking the graph lines, not the lines I just drew.
Oh.
Can you see the graph lines?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
No, mine's
Let's get graph paper that we can see better. Of course it's not going to be easy for me. All right. Can you see that better? Okay. So we're going to draw our X and our Y. What is my numbers for the middle, for the origin? 0. That origin is always 0. To the right will be positive. To the left is negative. So that is my x-axis, goes left and right. It is horizontal. Vertical is up and down, that is our y. If I'm counting up from my origin, positive or negative? If I'm going up, positive. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I'm gonna go down, positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. All right, let's put I'm just gonna pick, and I'm gonna draw a line going down. I want to find my slope between my 2 points on that line. What is the formula for finding my slope? Who remembers what that formula is that I was talking about? Look on your paper. Nick?
Rise and run.
Yeah, rise over run. So, what is my rise? I'm going from this point to this point. Remember, we're either going to have it look like that or look like that. I'm starting at a point right here and going to a point right here, right? So am I going to go up or down? I'm counting down. So is it going to be positive or negative?
Negative.
My answer is going to be a negative because I'm going down. How many down am I counting? So let's look. I'm starting at my point. I go down 1, 2, 3. Now I'm parallel to my other point. So my rise is a 3. What is my run? How many over am I going to go? 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer is a negative 3/4. So does that make sense? You're going to either make this shape or you're going to make that shape, depending on where your 2 points are. If you're counting down to go parallel, it's negative. If you're counting up, it's going to be a positive. Do you have your hand up, Gabby? Okay. So does that make a little bit more sense? So we want to make that shape. Or you're going to make the shape going up. So let's do another one. This time let's have 1 point here and 1 point here. So we always, to find our slope, we want to do rise over run. So what point do I start with? Do I start with A or do I start with B? What point should I start at? Brielle? A, because I'm reading from left to right. So I'm always going to start with the point that's on the left side. So now, just like before, I want to either make this shape or this shape. Am I going to go up or down to go from A to B? Brielle? Up. So I'm going to count going up. If I'm going up, is my answer going to be a positive or a negative? Positive. So I know I'm going to end up with a positive. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I stop when I'm parallel with my next point. So that is my rise. How many I went up? Now I need my run. How many over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can I simplify that?
Yes.
What would it be?
1.
1. I could divide a 5 out. And I would get 1 over 1, or just 1. So that means if I go to another point on my line, I'm going to go from C to D, I go up 1, over 1. same slope. Okay, so you should be able to go to any point on the line and find a slope of 1 if you simplify it down. So is finding the slope a little bit making sense now? All right, I think we had one more thing on our help sheet. Using the slope to draw a line. So draw a line that has a slope of -3 and passes through 2/5. I'm going to go back over to that big graph paper. It's graph paper. It's doing its job right now. Okay, so let me draw my X and my Y again. And it said to plot 2, 5. So where would 2, 5 be on here? Remember, this is my X, this is my Y. So my 2, for the X, I go over 1, 2. My Y, I go up 3. I'm sorry, it was 2, 5. So I go up 5. Okay, so that's the line I'm going to start with. Sorry, not the line, the point. And it says it has a slope of -3. So they're giving us the rise. What's the run? If it's -3, what would our run be, Tristan? A 1. So we're going to start at this point, and we're going to do a rise of -3. So what direction do I want to go from my point? Up or down? How many? 3. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3. Now my run. How far over do I want to go? What is my run? It's a 1. And then I have to connect my dots, my points. So if they give you a point and they give you a slope, you can do your rise and your run to find a second point, and then you draw the line through both of them. You want that line to be a straight line. So to make it perfect, you would use a ruler to connect your 2 points. So it is a straight line. I'm good, but I'm not always that good. My lines get a little curvy. They're not always straight. So to make it a perfect line, you would use a ruler. How do we feel about that?
All right.
Let's try another one. This time, let's do a point of -5 and 3. So plot on your graph -5, 3. Where would that point be? Tell me what quadrant you would put -5, 3. Remember, here are our quadrants. 1, 2, 3, and 4. What quadrant would -5, 3 be in? Priya? Yeah, it would be in quadrant 2, because we've got -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. That's our X, -5, and our Y goes up 1, 2, 3. So now let's give it a slope of, what should our slope be? Who can tell me a slope? Pick a slope. A fraction. Tell me a fraction. Landon? Okay. So our slope is 4/5. If our slope is 4/5, which one is our rise? Remember, rise over run. So 4 is that rise. So I'm going to go from my point and I'm going to go up. I'm going up because why? Why do I know I'm going to go up? Because it's positive. Yeah, we got to wake up. It is a positive number. We want to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's my run, Peyton? How many over am I going to go? 5. Because that run is the denominator, that bottom number. I'm going to go over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's my next step to drawing my line? What do I have to do? I've got 2 points. What do I do, Nick?
You just draw that line.
I draw my line. I connect my 2 points. So there is a line that has a slope of 4/5 that runs through point -5, 3. How are we feeling about that?
Pretty good.
Okay, is that making a little more sense? It's very important that we remember rise over run. Rise is either up or down. If it's positive, you go up. If it's negative, you go down from your point. Run is how far over to the right you're going to count. Okay? We have a shortened class today. So we're going to start our homework and we're going to see, because we only have 5 minutes, we'll see if we're going to finish it today or we might finish it tomorrow.
Wait, you only have 5 minutes.
Yep, because it's a shortened class because we have an Advent prayer service this afternoon. So our homework is workbook page. It is 8.3, so that page number for 8.3 is 103, 104. So let's look at, I'm still recording because I'm going to help people at home with this first one. So let's look at page 103. Without finding the slope of the line, tell whether the slope is positive, negative, or 0. If it's a slope of 0, it's on our binder page. What did we call a slope that is 0? I didn't go over that one. If it's a slope of 0, what do we call it, Tristan? It's just a horizontal line. So it's parallel to the x-axis. It just goes straight across. It doesn't go up or down at all. So we need to look at this and say, is it positive, negative, or a 0 slope? So if it's going left to right, going down, is it positive or negative? Negative. So all you have to do is write negative. Sure. Number 2, it is a line going straight across. Do we know, is it positive, negative, or 0? 0. So it's a 0. Number 3, we're going up. Josie? Positive. Positive goes up. Now it says find the slope of the line. So we start at our left point and we have to go over to the right point. So if we're starting here, what is the formula for the slope? Nolan?
Are we supposed to go up?
Tell me the formula first.
It's the, what was it again? You just said earlier.
I did.
It's line something?
Not line. Josie? Rise
Yes, that was the point.
over run. So if we're doing rise over run and we're starting right here, how many do we rise? 1, 2. What is our run? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is our slope, that rise over the run. Do number 5 on your own, and let's see what you get, and we'll see what I get. I'm going to stop our recording, and we hope that we see you soon.